Indonesia is a massive country with a population over 267.7 million citizens and a variety of cultures: Batak, Javanese, Budaya cultures, and so on. With many differences in cultures, Indonesia has the need to preserve this culture of our ancestors to not lose its meaning. This is important, especially in the current era of globalization. It becomes apparent of how much our culture starts to fade, and people become more ignorant of their own culture of respective tribes. Looking at today's cultures, technology has overtaken our cultures in society. Instead of interacting face-to-face and playing traditional games, kids today play with their phone and do social media. And slowly, Indonesian culture will disappear from people's ignorance for not preserving the existing culture that we should conserve. In this video, we are going to show you how to conserve Indonesia cultures. Why do we have to preserve Indonesia culture? It is because it is important to preserve our culture because it keeps our integrity as people. The importance of intangible cultural is not the cultural manifestation itself, but rather the wealth of knowledge and skill that is transmitted through it from one generation to the next. Preserving the information and knowledge about cultural is important for the generation to come. Culture is one of the priceless legacy of our ancestors. Culture also a national identity that makes us different from other countries. We must protect, preserve, and love Indonesian culture.
However, Indonesian culture is in danger of being lost due to being eroded by time. There are so many factors that put Indonesian culture in danger. These factors come from internal and external. Internal factors. The decline in the presence of Indonesian culture in their own homes is caused by the people who ignore their culture, especially for teenagers. They are lulled by modern life and begin to forget the values passed on by their ancestors. For example, local language, cultural ceremonies, custom and traditional of Indonesia have disappeared in society. External factors. The rapid flow of information coming to Indonesia also affect the erosion of Indonesian culture. Many foreign cultures, especially Western cultures, have come and grown in Indonesia. Western cultures are not in accordance with the value of Indonesia as an Eastern country. This also had an adverse effect on the norms of Indonesia as an Eastern nation. Today, we can see that fashion clothes that do not conform to norms, drunken habits, and bad lifestyles have developed in Indonesia. In short, the reduction in the presence of Indonesian culture in his own home is the result of several factors. They are internal and external factors. To maintain the continuity of Indonesia cultures, let us protect our own culture.
How do we conserve Indonesian cultures? First, get to know culture or awareness. By getting to know our culture, it will be easier for us to preserve our culture because we know how to maintain that culture. There are several ways to help you to get to know your culture. Find out about your culture, participate in cultural activities, join the community. Second, teach culture to others. Besides, this aspect can provide information about Indonesian culture to others. This can also help us in preserving Indonesian culture. Introducing culture abroad. Apart from introducing our own culture in our country, we should also introduce our culture abroad. Technology can help us to introduce our culture abroad. For example, social media. There are several ways to introduce our culture. First, post local art on your social media. Second, wearing or using local cultural products abroad.
In conclusion, our country has a massive effect of foreign cultures that enter Indonesia and continue to erode our existing cultures. And we as Indonesian must overcome this problem so our culture will not be overwritten by foreign culture. Because when we claim that we love and respect our country's cultural diversity, it means that we are willing to sacrifice for the nation and state and also love for Indonesian culture. We must preserve the beauty and the unique diversity of our culture so the future generation is able to know what it's like. It is not a trivial issue. The loss of our culture is like losing our identity, and the efforts to overcome this must be done so our culture is not lost in time. Shows our nationalism by loving our culture that exists by preserving it and preserving nature and the environment.